All right, guys, Jake Epstein here. Look through all the swings, and I think I can get them in here. So we'll kind of start with this one that you submitted originally. This is Nolan Arenado on the right. The reason I'm using him, the sink is definitely something we want to add, but his leg kick is a little bit more traditional. You know, Donaldson is like the sink master, but you don't have that kind of stride or rhythm. So I thought we'd use him. He's pretty awesome too. As far as you, these blue uniforms, wow, that's kind of the first thing I noticed. The second thing I noticed was the crane move from the Karate Kid after you hit a double. That's pretty impressive too. I've never seen anybody your size try to do that. Um, so anyway, let's go ahead and go through. As far as mechanics, rhythm, and style, I'm sure you've watched those videos. But how do you get to about this position here, right before your heel plants, which is toe touch? Are you gonna have a huge leg kick? Are you gonna have a small leg kick? Are you gonna have no leg kick? Are you gonna glide? Are you gonna lift it up? Whatever. That's gonna be up to you. That's why I used Arenado here. He's got, a little bit of a little, he kind of brings the foot back, a little jab step, but then he's going to get to a pretty comparable position. I would say your hands are going to be more in the Donaldson category, meaning you really lift your back elbow up high, which I happen to like. Not crucial, but what it really does when you get this guy up here is it tucks your front shoulder underneath. And for a big guy, you have great flexibility in your neck and shoulder. So that's huge. Your power sources, kind of coming here. Next time you send in a video, don't slow it down. Just leave it at kind of full speed. That's easier for me to work with. We're a little bit between frames, so let me get Arenado to a similar position, with his back knee. Probably right about here. So if we put a torque angle, because you keep your upper body back so far, so perpendicular to your shoulders, and then I'm trying to go perpendicular to your hips, probably about there, your hip line. You're in the high 30s, which, you know, typically guys that are in the high 30s are a little bit, Williams was in the high 30s, Ken Griffey Jr., kind of tall, limber guys. Donaldson gets that way too, but I don't think he's as tall as you. He's even shorter. But I'll tell you what, you get great separation, and you do it because of your hands and shoulders. So I wouldn't change a thing here. In fact, I think your swing is, you wouldn't be playing at the level you are. But I have a couple SEC players and their swings, and ACC players, and I'm not sure that they're quite as good as you are. They do sit better. Okay, but I'll tell you what, this position here, this is a crucial position because in this position, this is where your brain's saying fastball or off speed. If you go from here, and we're talking, 2 or 3 100ths of a second here, are we going to go? That's when you have to start to sink lower. Okay, and the sink makes you more consistent because you don't have to rely on your hands to go get it. Okay, so this is about the same part of the swing, you and Arenado. Things that I look for here, and I'll give you some drills to make sure. You want to make sure that the knob is in front of the back elbow. Okay, so if we let me put an angle on that so you have an idea. And this is stuff that you can do on your own. We have a free app you can download and look at your own swing in it. When you're taking batting practice, called Video Etch, Video ETCH. If you type in Spladap, SPLADAP in the App Store, it'll come up. There's also another eye hitting app, and that will kind of connect your all the videos that I do for you and all the drill videos on your phone, so you can access it through there, which is pretty nice. So what we want to look for, that angle I put on his forearms, 120 degrees. Yours I can't really tell because it's a little bit blurry, but I think your back elbow's there and your front elbow's here. We need to be greater than 90, so I have a little concern there. We'll look at your other swings too to make sure. If you go a little bit further in the swing here, you can just kind of see how the back foot comes up and off. We have to be careful with that. Now, I'm a big fan of the back foot coming off the ground and coming forward, okay? But when does it come off the ground and when does it come forward? So we've done a lot of force plate testing, and the key is you have to transfer the weight to the inside of your foot. You can see Arenado's weight kind of shift to the inside of his ankle. Then the heel is going to come up. Then the toe is going to come forward. The key is we got to try to keep this toe behind the heel. Okay, so I want you to kind of move that toe along the ground if possible instead of lifting it up. It's all part of the same sit and all part of the same sink. Okay. Now, as far as, if we go through these frames here, we really skip a few with the video. So when you're taking BP, just use your iPhone. Assuming you have an iPhone, even the Androids have usually like a pretty good high def quality feature or a slow motion feature. The new iPads are sweet too. The iPad Pro, not the giant one, but the newest, smaller one, has that great 240 frames a second as well. So it's great to look at your swings. Now your head's moving back a little bit, and that's fine. And I'm not saying your head move up all that much. I also want you to notice this right arm extension. This is something that's really, really good and will let you stay through the ball. The issue is if you're late on pitches, you're going to tend to cut under them like you do here. Okay, so if we look at Arenado, his head's funny. I don't want your head down that much. There's no need for that. Okay, but watch his right arm do kind of the same thing. Watch this right arm angle get bigger. So he's going to push, push, and push. So the key to that is that push is going to get you to stay on plane from like right in front of your front knee, and I'm not sure where his pitch was, out in front that way. Okay? That's going to keep you on plane. You have that move. That is a great move. What we don't have is this back leg angle that we're going to need to work on. So if I put an angle on his back leg, and again, we'll look at your other swings. This one you're real straight up on. Used your hands to push lower, and that's why you ended up kind of cutting underneath this a little bit. He's at 102 degrees right after contact. Can I go one more frame with you here? Not really. So we'll look at this one here, which is right after contact as well. But you can see this back leg angle is really big, 130. Most pros are actually 90 to 100. So we're going to work on that a lot. One of the ways we're going to get there is by getting lower, but it's also going to be by not lifting this heel up, rather pulling it forward. So let me pull some of your other swings in here real quick. Okay, so this is going to be a big difference. This is, the pitch you got under a little bit, the last one, you let get really deep. You look like a guy who really wants to let the ball get deep. I don't know if that's something you work on. I don't know if it's something that you work on at Ole Miss. Okay, just because you're going oppo doesn't mean you got to let the ball get super deep. Your bat speed, say your bat speed is like 90 miles an hour. If you hit the ball here, but well behind your front knee, it's probably like 80 there. It doesn't get to 90 until it reaches your front toes. So in a perfect world, we need to make contact somewhere between like your front heel and then out here. That doesn't mean you have to pull everything, okay? It just means we have to have proper mechanics, which I think you're pretty good at. So what happens sometimes, we get in these ruts where we're letting everything get deep, everything get deep, and then all of a sudden you get a pitch like right down the middle or middle in. I did some work with a school in Texas, a big school in Texas a couple years ago, and they were letting everything get super deep in batting practice. Then they get a pitch right down the middle, and they couldn't get to it. They'd roll over it and kind of jam themselves on it. So I want you to look at this pitch of Miguel Cabrera. This ball was hit to right center. This is a very good example because you guys are actually similar in size. You're going to be this big. But notice how he hits this ball by his front foot. What he's doing is he's just extending more to right field. You extend to right field too with that extension. It's just you let the ball get so deep that it's not going to go as hard and as far. I mean, this was great. You hit a double down the right field line. But we don't want to do that all the time. Okay, we got to be able to dry balls. Where are they going to throw you? I mean, they might try to jam you in. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I would say when you're even with the count or you're ahead in the count, they're going to go middle away. Then they're going to throw off speed pitches all the time. So I have a bunch of drills for both of those. But keep an eye on that. What is better? Your back leg's better. Okay, and this was a pitch that was super deep in the zone. Okay, 118. The other one was 130, so this is better. And I think your elbow separation is pretty good. You got a lot of head movement going on there. You're probably not even seeing the ball there. There's a lot of big leaguers that do that. I have to be careful to make sure that, you're so big it won't happen, but your head, so a lot of players when they start to drop their right ear and do that, their back shoulder drops a lot too. You're really not seeing the ball the last 10 feet, so you're probably tracking it, and then it reaches about 12 feet, and then you start doing this because you think you're making contact back there. But if you watch Cabrera, his head is going to remain pretty steady, right? He's looking out in front, looking out in front. It's not a violent head move. I mean, maybe the bill of his cap drops a little bit. And then, of course, he has that good right arm extension move that you have as well. So, again, right leg was better here. Let's look at one other swing. Okay, so here's the home run you hit. Again, toe touch, ball of the foot, excellent torque here, meaning front shoulders down, your chest is perpendicular to that, your lower body is perpendicular to that. This is a great angle in here, okay? As you continue, there's heel plant, back knees coming in, another good position. Let's see what I'm going to draw a line coming right out your eyes. Okay, so straight there. Look at that back shin's coming down. So your back shin was a little bit better here. Notice the heel coming up and the toe still on the ground. And then this is going to be your happy zone out in front. Okay, so you can see when you hit this ball. Things that I look for when you make contact. This stripe in your leg. This heel going forward into the ball there. That's where the sink is really going to kick in and help you on off-speed pitches. So you get a great swing. I mean, there's no doubt about that. You do things a lot better than most. I'm going to give you some drills to work really on the finer points. They're not going to be as mechanical. I'll give you a couple drills that I just love to do with players because it keeps you in the envelope. You'll be good at them because you have a good swing already. We're not going to rebuild anything. But I'm going to add some, bat speed drills that I have that will pick up a little bit more bat speed or hand release. Will keep you on plane longer. Lower body moves for off-speed pitches, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of cool for me. This is, I get a lot of videos from minor leaguers, and the reason they struggle is because of mechanics. They're great athletes and they know how to anticipate pitches and they know how to adjust, but they just have a swing flaw, so they can't really keep the ball on the right trajectory between the lines. And you're not going to have that issue at all. So it's going to be kind of fun for you going forward. It's going to be more of the mental side of things, working on, building some hand speed and driving balls, finding contact points for balls middle away so you can drive them out of the park. But we definitely don't need to rebuild anything. So if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, when you send in your next video, I want you to send me a video doing your drills so I can make sure that we're doing them properly.